From narcissistic exes to emotionally unavailable partners, this is how to recognise when masculine and feminine energy has turned toxic, and how to elevate back to divine balance using neuroscience, epigenetics and energetic awareness when things have gone awry. It was a dinner conversation that sparked this topic today. I was having dinner with a lovely friend recently who told me her ex-husband, years after their divorce, was still bad-mouthing her to anyone who'd listen. And I nodded because I know the script, and maybe you do too. I've lived it, and maybe you have as well. Years ago, I was just another notch on a man's bed, and I haven't even set eyes on this man in nearly a decade. Yet even now, he's still running the same tired gossip reel that I'm a promiscuous gold digger, obsessed with breaking up his current marriage, obsessed with coming between he and his wife. And his wife joins in, telling anyone who'll listen that I'm jealous of her. And let's pause here just for a bit of context. I'm an educated, self-funded professional. If you've been here a while, you know me. I don't smoke, rarely drink, live cleanly, and have worked for 4 decades as a self-employed chiropractor and natural healer. And she's a whiskey-drinking, alcoholic, heavy smoker who married for money and status. And he's a dope-smoking, whiskey-guzzling, alleged sexual predator with a career marred by over 60 allegations of inappropriate behaviour. And yet they say, I'm the problem. And here's the thing. Toxic people project their unhealed wounds onto others because it's easier than facing their own reflection in the mirror. When truth threatens illusion and the narrative that they've propagated to maintain their engineered social position, they shoot the messenger. Made all the easier if the object of their persecution isn't around to defend themselves. However, their plans do get derailed if the audience thinks for themselves, if the perpetrator's audience starts to think for themselves and sees the persecuted person consistently demonstrating authenticity, integrity and high honour in their career and personal lives. There's a neuroscience to toxicity. Toxic people run on an addicted nervous system. Their brains are wired for drama and for validation. They get a dopamine rush that comes from gossip, from conflict and from control. Each smear and each lie gives them a temporary chemical hit. And it's not just personal, it's also neurological. But either way, it's still destructive. For the person on the receiving end, in their brain, prolonged exposure to narcissistic abuse or slander triggers cortisol surges, which is the stress hormone. And this disrupts the amygdala prefrontal cortex connection, which then impairs their emotional regulation. Epigenetically, this stress chemistry switches on genes linked to anxiety, fatigue and autoimmune conditions while silencing the genes responsible for growth and repair. So the translation is, being around toxic people literally makes you sick. On the other hand, divinely aligned people operate from coherence, a synchronized state between the brain and the heart. And divine males and divine females choose calm over chaos and integrity over impulse. So their nerve systems radiate safety. There's an energy contrast between toxic and divine males and females. The toxic masculine energy is driven by control, conquest, and ego. It thrives on dominance, needing to win at all costs and proving their superiority, proving their dominance. So this energy communicates through criticism, dismissal, aggression, and put downs that they will try and palm off as being a joke. In relationships, the toxic masculine becomes possessive and transactional, giving only to get something in return, and drains the life out of everyone around them. By contrast, the divine masculine is steady, grounded, and guided by integrity. He protects without being controlling, and he leads without dominating. So his strength comes from purpose, not power. He listens before he speaks, and when he does speak, his words build trust and they build safety. His relationships are based on loyalty, respect, and mutual growth. And he's a lighthouse. He guides and inspires rather than is the storm tearing through everyone and everything in his path. And the toxic feminine operates from comparison, from manipulation, from envy and competition. She uses emotions, blackmail, guilt and gossip as weapons to control outcomes and to maintain attention onto her. This energy thrives on drama and competition. The toxic feminine needs to pull others down in order for them to feel elevated. The toxic feminine extracts energy. The toxic feminine drains and harvests energy from the people she deludedly insists that is superior to, feeding off approval, feeding off admiration, or the downfall of others, which she has often engineered herself. But the divine feminine is her opposite. The divine feminine is the toxic feminine's opposite. She's intuitive, nurturing, and emotionally intelligent. She knows how to listen deeply, to connect authentically, and to heal through compassion, not control. The divine feminine collaborates instead of competes. Her power lies in her ability to amplify love and truth wherever she goes. So instead of extracting energy, she magnifies it. Instead of extracting energy, she magnifies it and brings harmony to all of her surroundings. So in short, the toxic masculine and feminine energies are both rooted in fear, the fear of not being enough. The divine versions of each are rooted in love, the knowing that we're already enough. So the goal isn't to shame one or destroy the other, but to bring both into balance so that the masculine can protect and the feminine can create without either having to manipulate or turn dark in the absence of healing. And the difference isn't gender, it's consciousness. Males and females both carry masculine and feminine energy within us. When one becomes wounded or corrupted, there's a tendency for the other to follow. So the goal isn't to destroy the toxic. The goal isn't to destroy the toxic, it's to transform it. And there's a science to manifestation. You attract what you embody. Your thoughts are electric, the masculine signal. The feelings are the magnetic, the feminine attraction. And when both are coherent, when both are clear, calm and aligned, you magnetize divine partner matches. When they're incoherent, fearful or shame-filled or self-abandoning, you draw toxic mirror partners to you instead. And energy doesn't lie. If you keep meeting takers, betrayers or emotional vampires, the universe isn't punishing you. It's reflecting your unhealed boundaries. You are the common denominator in all of your relationships. And once you reclaim your self-worth, your field, your energy field, stops accepting discounted love. Meanwhile, another friend of mine recently separated from his long-term partner, and he didn't smear her, he didn't compete, he didn't destroy, he didn't badmouth her in any way whatsoever. He ensured she was taken care of financially, emotionally and energetically before he moved on. And that's what divine masculine energy looks like. Leadership without domination and love without possession. He didn't lose anything by being kind. So ask yourself, is there anyone in my life who still drains my peace or reputation, even from a distance? Is there any part of me who normalizes toxic energy as love or connection? Do I need to strengthen my divine masculine boundaries and divine feminine intuition? What does healthy love feel like in my body? The world doesn't need more people performing as spiritual. It needs more people living with emotional intelligence and energetic integrity. Toxic masculinity and femininity play out like a soap opera of wounded egos. Divine masculinity and femininity, on the contrast, dance like a symphony of healed hearts. If someone can't, or if someone won't rise with you, let them exit with their own lies. Don't waste your divine energy or your time trying to prove truth to anyone committed to illusion. Leave karma to do the teaching while you focus on your own healing. And keep your eyes peeled for more videos of how to master your emotional intelligence, heal your nerve system and attract relationships that match your worth, not your wounds, because divine partnerships aren't found, they're not just found, they're created through matching high vibrations.